Why have spaghetti and sauce from a jar when it's so easy to make your own bolognese? My version of the classic Italian meat sauce uses a mixture of ground meats, fresh herbs, and of course, a splash of red wine. Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode of Let's Celebrate TV. I'm your host, Peter Lee. On this channel, we teach you all about celebrating. We share recipes for food, hors d'oeuvres, cocktails, and we share entertaining tips too. Now, we try and keep everything as simple as possible, especially for those of you out there who say that you just can't cook or entertain, because we know that you really can. So if you like this episode, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and you'll get a new episode every single week. Today, our celebration is all about a main event. We're making spaghetti bolognese. Now, this is by special request from Dr. Mike Clayton. He's one of our top fans, and he lives in the UK. Dr. Clayton has his own YouTube channel. It's a project management channel, and we'll leave links for that in the description section. So Dr. Clayton makes this recipe every week with his daughter, and he's asked us to give us some new ideas, maybe expand their palate a little bit. So here's my version of this. This is a basic recipe that once you get it, you'll be able to change it up. So let's get started. I have a nice big hot oven here, Dutch oven I'm warming up, and I have meat. Now, bolognese is a meat sauce. In this bowl, I have some ground meat. I'm using a mixture of beef, pork, and veal, also known as meatloaf mix. So it's 1.5 pounds or about 680 grams. To that, I've added some loose Italian sausage meat, about 1 pound or 453 grams. Now I'm going to put this in to get it browning. Just like that. Now, if you have a smaller pan, you might want to do this in batches, but we're just going to brown this up. I'm going to break it up so it browns evenly. I didn't bother to add any oil to the pan. Sometimes you do, but with the sausage meat especially, there's going to be more than enough fat in here. And this is just going to take a few minutes. All right, this took about 5 minutes. My meat is all nice and browned. Now I'm going to remove it back to the bowl. Now don't worry, it's going to get cooked some more, so I know I'm using the same bowl. We want to drain this off and see how much fat is in here. We may want to drain some off. We'll see once we get the pot empty. Alrighty, I've got a lot of extra fat in here, so I'm going to drain some off, and then we're going to continue. Okay, so my meat is all browned, and I've removed it, and I've drained off most of the extra fat. I'm going to add just a tiny bit of olive oil just to help the vegetables. There's some fat in here, which is going to be flavored, but I want to add just a tiny bit more. No more than a tablespoon, really, and in this case, not even that much. All right. Now for the vegetables. In my little bowl here, I have 1 carrot, 1 stalk of celery, a medium onion, and 3 cloves of garlic that I just chopped up in my food processor. Now you could do this all by hand if you don't have a food processor, but I like how it gets a very fine grind similar to the meat. This is the flavor. Right in the pan. Now we're not browning so much as we're softening. And then if there's any fond left in the bottom of the pan from where the meat browned, this is going to help to glaze it. I'm going to add a little salt and pepper just to help it along. And we're going to let this soften for just a minute or two. Really doesn't take much when it's this finely ground. All right, while these are softening, I'm going to add a little bit of tomato paste. I'm making a little spot. I've got about a tablespoon of tomato paste. I'm going to put that in right in the hot pan. We're going to let it just kind of caramelize for a minute. It's going to wake up the flavors in the tomato paste. And actually, you can really just stir this all together at this point. Smell. All right, so this part goes really fast. I'm gonna add my meat mixture back into the pot and mix this all up. Right in. And this is gonna help all these flavors just marry together. All right, now, I have crushed tomatoes, a whole can. It's 28 ounces or 794 grams, thereabout. These are crushed. Right in. Let's get all of them in there. There we go. I'm gonna stir it all up. Okay. One more ingredient. I have some red wine. Now, this is entirely optional. You don't have to. You could use white wine if you like. I would go a dry white wine. This is a dry red. It's 4 ounces, 120 mils, right in. Just more depth of flavor. And the alcohol will evaporate while it's cooking. So if you're concerned about that, like I say, you can leave it out if you choose to. Alrighty, so this is all together. Now we want to cover this and let this simmer for about an hour. 2 would be better, but an hour will suffice. So I'm going to cover this, let it simmer, and while this is going, I'm going to cook some pasta. And when we come back, we're going to do the tasting. All right, it's been just over an hour, and our bolognese is all simmered. Let's take a look. Ooh, ooh, delicious. Wow. This is looking wonderful. It's thick, the meat has broken down a bit, so it's all through the sauce. Look at that color, it's brilliant. And the smell, ooh. But we have to add a little more things to it before we taste. The first thing I'm going to add, which is traditional, is 4 ounces or 120 mils of heavy cream. Now you may think that's odd, but traditional bolognese usually has some dairy in it. So today I'm using heavy cream, feeling a bit decadent. Pour that right in. Give that a nice stir. Ooh. Now what is that going to do? It's going to give it some richness, creaminess. And that's what makes a bolognese a bolognese. Ooh, delicious. Now, next is some herbage. This is a chance for you to make this your own sauce. Today I'm going to use basil and parsley, 3 tablespoons of each. You can use whatever you like. You could add oregano or some hot pepper flakes to make it spicy. You could add rosemary or chives or anything that you really like. Play with it. Now you may be wondering, why am I adding them now instead of in the beginning? So here's why. Remember when I added the vegetables in the beginning? Those were all root vegetables, carrots, celery, onions, all sturdy. They needed to be in there to cook through. These herbs are delicate little creatures. If I put them in at the beginning, they'd be completely obliterated. So let's put these in. I'm going to add some nice freshness. 3 tablespoons basil, 3 tablespoons parsley that I just chopped up. Okay. Let me give it a stir. Oh boy, Now we're just going to let this sit for just a minute to wake up those herbs, let that cream get through. So behind me I have some nice pasta, already cooked, a whole pound. I'm just going to get some. Just a little bit. All right. Now there are two schools of thought with this. There are some people who like to put their pasta right in here and let it finish cooking, which I do a lot. Or there's the spoon it over the top gang. I'm kind of in that mood today. So let me just take a little. Wow. Can you see that? Look at those colors. The green. All right, now I'm gonna add a little bit of cheese. Got a nice little piece of real Parmigiano Reggiano, my little microplaner. Make it snow. And for prettiness sake, just a little bit more parsley right on top. Oh, how pretty. Now, what I always do for you, my viewers, let's taste it. And let's see if I can taste this without getting all down the front of me. Okay. Wow. Wow, I need another bite. Yeah. What an easy sauce to put together. Yet it's so complex. You get all the flavors of the meats and all the vegetables that are in there just making it explode. And you get that brightness from those herbs at the end. And of course, a little vino. By the way, this is the same vino I'm drinking that went in here. Delicious. All right, now as always, guys, we'll have this recipe and all the instructions up in the video description section on YouTube, and we'll have it on our website. And we will see you all again on Tuesdays, 7 p.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m. for our basic days. Dr. Mike, let us know how this comes out. So remember, guys, as always, you're all invited to come on over, come on in, and let's celebrate. Cheers.